Well, here we are, everybody. Whoa, I peeked the microphone. I do apologize there. So things are going to be a little bit different. I actually had to completely nuke my whole computer and re-download everything. So I'm kind of in the process. From what I had heard, I'd already made some pre-recordings to see what it sounds like to get the levels, the volume levels equal. So hopefully this will be a better experience, best of two worlds kind of thing. So we are actually returning to XDINARY Heroes Love Me to Death. We have a live clip too. So you know me, I like to kind of come back to these guys when I can, if my brain ever allows me to remember it. Let's check it out, shall we? Love Me to Death live clip. Whoa. Looks like my guitar. Ooh. Nice. Interesting. Ooh. We just got some growls? That is insane. Okay. I'm a little overtly excited here for a second because of the guitars. The guitars. Okay. You're all going to have to bear with me as I kind of geek out here. Paul Reed Smith custom. Very nice. I've always wanted a Paul Reed Smith. But the one that actually caught my interest, not because it's, mainly just because it's just so different. This is something of a, I feel like a company that really only kind of came more into prominence when guitar YouTube really took a really noticeable takeoff in popularity. So we see here at the very beginning, he grabs this guitar here. This is from a company named Kiesel. This is an X-Type. And whenever I think of Kiesel, my first thought almost always is like guitar YouTubers, which is not a bad thing. But like Stevie T, Jared Dines, they all used Kiesels at one point. They had other guitars, obviously, too. But a Kiesel headless X-Type is he's a little studious. I love that. And then obviously we have the guitar from Paul Reed Smith, which to me, Paul Reed Smith makes some of the coolest guitars. The John Mayer has one. The guitarist Mark Tremonti from Creed has one. The old guitarist from Cradle of Filth had one, which was always one of my dream guitars. So Paul Reed Smith is a very, very versatile, very, very beautiful guitar. Love that. So that's actually pretty cool. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the music now that we've talked about the gear. This kind of, to me, feels like a long time coming for XDINARY heroes to kind of reach this point in sound. Although sometimes I do have to admit I miss the weird sounds like get a haircut and stuff like that. But to me, I think that obviously the evolution, to me, I feel like is always probably the best way to go. To me, this song really, really strikes really hard. Kind of gives me kind of like a JRock feel, to be honest. And I think that for me personally, I think the big thing is too, I love this feeling of just the intensity, the softness, I feel like there's a really good arrangement in this. Full of energy. Kind of has this intense underlying feel to me too. I just really love that feeling of just how it is, where they're able to speed up, slow down, and get really heavy. I mean, obviously we have those growl vocals, which that's crazy to me to hear inside of a, song, a Korean song in general. I love that rock sound that he's got in his voice. It's just so powerful. It's so intense. And I love that little flick that he does right there. There's definitely some inspirations here on this song. Some taken from a little bit of probably their childhood, because I know for a while there that they did like a lot of kind of emo kind of feel, early 2000s rock, and I think that kind of continues, but they inject some modernity into it, and then they also inject just a little extra harshness here and there. In a lot of ways, I feel like that this is just a really good example of what they used to listen to brought forth in their own image, which I think is really cool. Like very riff heavy, like it's really kind of cool. But then you get like the chugga chuggas, which is also very cool. Mainly because I feel like that, to me, that's very much kind of in that old school emo era that I grew up in. And we know that they've covered things like Black Parade before. And, adding in things like the guitar or the piano and the keytar is kind of an interesting thing for me, because again, it kind of goes to show you that everybody in the band has a purpose and everything kind of has a certain feel to it. And even with like the synthesizers and the pianos and stuff like that, you can absolutely tell that the layering and how this is all going is just all very evident on what's going on. I think if I had one small complaint, I wish that maybe it's just with the new with the new setup, I don't know, you'll have to tell me, but I feel like the vocals were pushed back just a little too far in the mix for my personal feeling. Really wanted to be able to kind of hear that a little bit more at least on equal levels with the instrument, but not a bad thing as well. I think that the beautiful thing is that although there is a ton of drumming and or a ton of guitar work and like riffing, the drums to me really kind of hold this song together. I really appreciate the fact that it kind of keeps the song moving forward. It kind of just really allows the song to be able to be what it needs to be, keep that energy, be able to dictate what, when it needs to slow down, be, softer or more intense, and kind of bring back that energy, bring back that feeling, let the group come back together in unison. So cool. I love how that works. So yeah, very cool. I really like to return to these guys. So these guys, I will say this, probably this year, I will probably be getting them a 1 week club. So I am going to be planning out some 1 week clubs here pretty soon. So I expect to see this in the rotation. So anyway, let me know what y'all think about this. We'll discuss this down in the comments below. Thank you. And dulce para el